Welcome everybody to the Link to the Past Randomizer Spoiler Log Tournament. I am Sinak and I am joined here by Clear Mouse. How are you doing, Clear Mouse?
I'm doing great. I am looking forward to this match. This should be a very, very exciting one indeed. Both these guys are excellent runners, excellent players, have a great, very strong 4-1 record here. I'm looking forward to this. How are you doing today, Sinak?
Great. And we're off. We're both starting off at Link's house. Osse is going for that bottle, and Zelga's gonna say no bueno to that.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think that Sick Kid doesn't have anything, but I am pretty surprised that Zelda doesn't want an essentially free safety here.
Well, we're getting a look at the tree pole here. That is actually in the spoiler log, and that is 4 bomb drops. So that's a very nice tree pole to have.
Both runners looking like something valuable here is in Hyrule Castle, since they both beelined it here. Also, really nice path because they can because the tree pole is bombs. It's very just a convenient weapon to have. Probably not the most convenient, but hey, you know, a weapon is a weapon.
You know, usually like bombs is like one of the things you're struggling for early game. So it's nice to be able to kind of use those bomb escape strats in a non-standard.
Yeah, we saw a really nice bomb setup on Zelda's side. I think Osse was trying to get it, but I think the guard did not move in the way that he wanted to.
Yeah, if you play a lot of standard with randomized swords, you could easily end up in a situation where you have to do a bomb escape. So knowing your setups for those bomb placements can really be useful. There you go. There was a treasure.
Yeah, totally understandable that these guys went for essentially first item here. I mean, I guess on Osse's side it's a second item technically, but you know, who's keeping count these days?
Yeah, Osse's like, hey, I'll take those boots too.
Yeah, speaking of our tracker, thanks to iBot02 for clicking the buttons here to keep both Sinak and I honest and to make sure that we know what both the runners are picking up.
So Zelda, yeah, both of these players are going for early Houlihan. Probably means there's probably not a whole lot of money available in the early game. I mean, they could be going for a Zora as well, but Zelda not quite getting it. If you don't displace the camera correctly, I'm suspecting what happened was he may have gone too far south, which messes up the trick basically. Then these jumps right here to displace the camera don't really do any good.
You know, I did see Zelda have half a heart, so I thought maybe he did want that, you know, free fairy refill. But, you know, then he just gonna walk right past the ferry, so what do I know about this guy?
It's a spoiler race, but he ain't got no time for that. And Saha.
Yeah, it's really nice here not to... So they don't actually need bombs to get to the back of his closet because you see that there's like a circle in the bottom of the crack. You can actually just walk right through it.
So there's the rest of our money. Yeah, that's definitely Zora. They wouldn't have gone out of their way to farm 500 rupees like that if it wasn't for Zora.
Yes, right now, Zora, I think they cannot actually access Zora, so they'll probably either need the flippers or a glove. Maybe, chances are it's here in Kakariko Village. Also, perhaps just like another routing things that they maybe just only wanted to make one trip to Kakariko. See
a lamp.
Yeah, picking up a lamp. No dark rooms are always nice. And hey, speaking of which, the flippers. More bombs.
Our Our logical access to Zora. Oh, I'll say considering. But yeah, is this gonna go ahead and probably make a beeline to Zora here? Zora must have something big if you're gonna.
Yeah, we did see Zelda like stopping by Blind's hideout to, I guess, pick up another, couple extra safeties. So I guess, we'll see if that kind of ends up saving him later on. Like with these safeties in a spoiler log race, it's always very much risk versus reward because, in theory, if you never get hit, you don't need any safeties. But the likelihood of that actually happening is probably very slim to none, right? So of course it takes extra time to pick up safeties, but you may not end up using it. Half magic though in the chicken hut, that is a very, very nice safety to have.
Moon Pearl.
It looks like Zelda has decided to pick up the bottle of green potion. In addition to half magic, assuming these guys get the fire rod, which is required in the seed due to Skullwoods being a crystal.
Also getting bullied by that bird there.
You think that Ganondorf's minions would not bully him.
Red cane. This is gonna be a pretty loaded. Yeah, this Zora area is gonna be loaded. Let's see how loaded. There is Ether Medallion, which is our medallion for Turtle Rock, with Misery Mire being Bombos. Oh, yeah, a lot of value in the Zora area. Oh, man.
Finding a pretty important item there, the hook shot.
What is the seed?
Honestly, with all the items that Zora has, if you're gonna pay 500 rupees for something, I think a hook shot's pretty worth the money. holding
that hook shot hostage, I guess. So, as you can see here, both of our runners, their records are right now 4-1 in this tournament. The winner of this match goes 5-1, and they get one step closer to guaranteed clinching a spot in the top 8 bracket. That's going to be starting here in just a few weeks. The runner-up in this match will go 4-2, and they will be kind of in jeopardy. They'll be reliant on how well their opponents played to determine if they're going to make the top 4. If they're going to make the 4 that'll have a 4-2 record. It's a good way of explaining this. So what we do is we take some money. All right, Osse is doing the back of escape here. Huh.
Looks like Zelda's following suit. So maybe we need more money here, or maybe this is just convenient because they need to get to the back of escape. They don't have a glove currently, so this is their only access.
And really, you're not going to want to really do this full trek through here unless you know that gloves are just not going to be a thing. So that makes me think that the glove you're going to need is here or is locked by an item that's here.
Oh good, we found the cape.
Or
that's what I've always wanted to see.
Oh, Zelda, so what happened was... Wait. Okay.
I think Zelda didn't pick up that key the first time he was in there.
Yep. And you know what? This is an Agaseed. Yep. So they needed that cape to do Aga. And I'm going to guess that both their gloves and the hammer are in the Dark World. Locked behind Aga.
Not the most friendliest of seats here. I mean, if you have to do Aga, you definitely want Master Sword versus Fighter Sword and Cape. And given that, these guys are really just on, basically have 3 and 4 hearts respectively, I mean, it's not... I don't imagine too much trouble for either of these guys, but, it's not a super comfortable Aga talent climb here. And then
This is,
yeah, and they really just have the fighter sword. You know, they don't have a fire rod. They don't really have a hammer or you know, anything else that really just does a lot of damage quickly. But we did see a vanilla stun prize, the green rupee. I guess if they're really desperate for money, they could just keep studying enemies, but probably not the most efficient way.
Alright, so Zelda is now gonna get out of here. Well, I think was contemplating death warping, but it's probably just gonna be faster to S and Q out at this point.
Yeah, certainly. Given that the game was recently patched, what, like last week or something like that, where they removed the save and quit delay from that was introduced to kind of like prevent some crashes. You know, save and quit is even more you know, attractive here.
Praise be the sun.
Yeah, thanks for that.
No, like, yeah, it's it took a while to get implemented because we had to do some things on the website behind the scenes to do it, but oh, this is going for the double heart speed. Oh, I love double heart speed.
It just gives us more excitement as we climb the tower here, especially on Osse only having one heart.
This is panic mode. I love it. I use double heart speed now. For the same reason.
I guess there are two schools of thought here. So some people really like the added excitement. Sounds like I am definitely not in that camp. I want to be as less stressed as possible here.
And you get an incentive to find health and make it stop.
So after Aga, one, I guess, like difference here between these two runners is Osse has about 100 more rupees than Zelda does, and if Osse wants to head straight to Pod, which is certainly could be a move, he will have the money to do so, and Zelda, I think, will need to go farm up some more money.
Yeah. So Osse was in a double heart speed. Ah, yes. All right. So Osse was in a state where when you're in a spin speed and you can't use your sword while you're in a spin speed state, so he had to push A to dash in order to slash his sword to open that curtain, which kind of hung him up a little bit. It's a small nitpick. We should be almost done here with Ganon. We should be saved. Or not. Or Aga, please.
Is this like looking into like the light world mirror? Alter ego mirror?
Both runners are on one heart. I mean, like, it's really hard to mess up Aga on one. Like, you have to go out of your way to get hit on Aga one.
Are you trying to curse these guys, Sinak?
I don't know, maybe. They're on blue mail, though, so I think it'd be like a half heart. So you'd have to get hit twice, which is hard to do. It's like the world's longest Aga one. Oh my goodness. Has anybody got like a chat? I hope chat was counting these. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, we're at least getting some blue ball sinks here, but I do think Osse is like one or maybe two like shots ahead.
All right, I don't think it's a 15. 'Cause that wasn't a. So this first one won't be a guaranteed. There you go. It was like 11 blue balls.
Was it really 11?
Apparently, according to chat, it was 11. That's pretty impressive. It's not quite a full Scrivo, but it's close. And that's what counts. And the beeping stopped for now. I'm sure we'll hear it again at some point.
Here's to hoping Osse doesn't get hit for the rest of the season.
Okay, so because you don't have gloves, you have to take this route with the flippers. There's clearly something in Village of Outcasts that they're going to need, which is pretty typical for a gloveless seed. That hook shot is going to be our progression.
I certainly hope that they find the glove or a hammer relatively soon. I mean, if you have to make multiple trips over to the Village of Outcasts and this is your only way, it's not... even a spoiler log race, right? And they have boots, it's still not the most convenient way to get over here.
I'm sure that the Dark World Axis is going to show up here in just a second. It's probably here in the Village of Outcasts, Thieves Town, Skull. He's going to chess games, so we'll have to see what's here.
Right, so Zelda does have enough money for this. He has 45 and he needs 30 rupees for the chess game. We did see our glove.
Alright, so there's part 2 at least. And then Zelda kind of just following in Osse's footsteps. Shovel. Now, I've accidentally grabbed items in Thieves Town that I didn't mean to grab. So we'll have to see if he actually goes check the flute spot. Alright.
It looks like he is going to keep going. No hammer means no big chest, but chances are if he's going to keep going, either the hammer is completely buried somewhere and they're going to come back for it, or there's just nothing here.
So we're on 4 and 5 hearts. I think we'll be fine. Both runners have cape, so even if you mess up the blind script, which runners at this point, probably that's not going to be a thing they're going to mess up. But you got a lot of safety there. Like, dying to blind is not going to be an issue.
Yeah, certainly for both these runners, I would imagine the greatest danger lies in the dungeon itself. Like getting past these crickets that I guess only do 1 heart now of damage because they have the blue mail. But yeah, certainly I don't imagine them taking the vast majority of their damage through the boss.
So Zelda opted not to grab the shovel, which means that maybe it was an accidental grab.
Yeah, in this case, if you've never seen a spoiler log, the chests are named something like map chest, compass chest, ambush chest. Really helps in this case if you kind of know in the vanilla game like where those locations are. And yeah, so like, and it's one like a very common mistake can be thinking that the like map chest is where the compass chest is, or what the big key chest is versus the big chest, something like that.
I mean, I don't know of a single NMG player that knows where the Ice Palace Big Key is at. It's just not a thing that you get.
Yeah, what about like the map or compass chest?
Yeah, that's the same deal. I don't know. Most players will know like what the Eastern Palace compass is because you'll grab it if you're a rendo player and you're doing NMG. You'll always grab that chest until you realize that this is NMG. I don't need it. But all right. So Osse is gonna go ahead and fight blind. You're probably gonna keep it on script. 1, 2, 3. Another tap. Easy peasy. Another tap. There you go. There goes blind. That will be crystal number 1 of this race. With Zelda shortly behind.
You know it's going to be a good seed when the number of blue balls from Aga 1 is more than the number of hits you need for blind.
So, except for the shovel, was there anything else we saw in...
I believe Osse picked up a heart piece in the Skylight room. Does that count?
Potentially, maybe? I don't know. Not really. It's just you have to do this dungeon at some point. May as well. Especially if you feel comfortable with doing like 4 or 5 heart blinds. So, the Explorer log here, we're getting a digging game. So the Explorer log will tell you how many digs there is. So this isn't going to be a surprise. He's going to know exactly if he's counting. Flute. Alright, so Zelga's going back in. Okay,
Yeah,
I see what's going on here.
Yeah, perhaps this means that he wanted the shovel here. Or that there's going to be something in the dig spot.
That actually may have been a little bit faster. It's even faster if you have mirror, but... I don't think there's really too much of a difference, but... Zelga is going for brewery, though.
Hey, that's a pretty nice sword that we just dug up.
Zelga's also going to show us digging game. He's going to get that flute. Probably it's going to do exactly what Osse is going to do here. Basically, they've been making the same decisions. It's just a matter of Osse is just a little bit ahead, basically.
Yeah, Osse has certainly basically rejected almost all of the safeties. Zelda, on the other hand, has kind of gone out. I won't say like totally out of his way, but but the extra time he spent, for example, picking up half magic from the chicken hut. Other than that, though, these runners are super, super close, and the lead can change. Very, very easily, given how close these are.
And now we're going for chicken hut. Yep, so there was that half magic that Zelga went for earlier.
It looks like we do see a bit of divergence here. Zelda is not going to head to Kakariko immediately. Ah, yes, but we did defeat Aga. I wonder what goodie here is in the Lumberjack. Drop down.
Osse getting lucky with that dead rock. So
oh, hey, we found another sword. So I guess
right.
I guess assuming Zelda is going to dig up his sword in the in the grove, he will have tempered.
Did Zelga activate flute yet?
He has not been back to Kakariko, so no. But looks like this is he's gonna head back there now.
All right. So we'll have to see if Osse decides to grab that sword. Probably not. He would have done it by now.
Yeah, especially that he's up the mountain. You want to definitely try and minimize the number of climbs you have, even though you have the flute.
So yeah, now we're gonna take this route here. Basically do the same thing. So so Zelga went for that tempered sword. Tempered sword's not a bad upgrade. It really depends on where our 4th sword is at. I suspect Osse might be just aiming for sword number 4. And so that book can tell us a couple of things. Either 1, there's something on a tablet that we need, or 2, mirror is in desert.
It actually doesn't look like Osse did anything other than grab some progression items off of the mountain, so perhaps then it's just kind of at these runners' discretion when they want to either get like their upgrade items. In this case, like Zelda went to go get a sword, and then he's going to go up the mountain and grab his book. But in that case, like Osse can just do the same thing, just in the reverse order.
So there's probably So we're probably looking at like mids or mirroring here, is what I'm predicting. Based on what was grabbed.
It looks like the right side desert will have something. Otherwise, probably wouldn't need to grab that key.
He's going right. Like I could see like a scenario where that'd be more like a spoiler key sanity, where you had a small key, you didn't need it. It was like really easy to get to. Never mind.
Hey, look, we got our mitts.
All right.
Yeah, I was actually curious in this case if it was going to be faster for these guys to kind of like steal the key, the small key from the back of desert. But it looks like just getting out of desert will just take like extra time in this case. So probably not.
So so now we have to like do another dip of the mountain here. There's something must be in the dark world over here.
Yeah, both these guys did pick up ether, so and they do have the cane, so they can dip to a rock.
Yeah, you'd only have access to one chest.
Oh, but we don't have the hammer yet.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's kind of
sorry.
important.
Yeah, but they do have the hook shot, so they can access like hook shot cave.
Yeah, so like they'd be looking at like Super Bunny or hook shot.
So we did see Osse missing slightly the second hook to kind of like do like the things the fastest way. But given that he did miss it, he did take the faster way, which is go up the stairs and then come right back down instead of pushing the block. It's a very, very minor time save, but I mean, it's still a time save nonetheless.
So. Wait, so you had to... That's amusing. Okay, so you had to go over there once, get booked, get mitts out of desert, just to be able to go back, grab bombos, to go back into Misery Mire.
That is at least 2 trips up the mountain required. I mean, certainly it'll be another trip up there for sure. Like once they need to defeat Ganon, but probably for other things too. Like they need to go dip to a rock and maybe Hera.
Heart container probably warranted at this point, and he is going into Mire.
So unless there is our 4th sword is in Mire, Osse will definitely have less firepower regarding sword strength here as compared to Zelda when he goes in. And neither runner has a silver, so it won't be like a super fast Vitreous fight. But having a temper sword with cape is certainly gonna be a lot faster than having a master sword with cape.
Oh yeah, tempered dashing. That's gonna be pretty effective. Probably when Osse went for that half magic. Skipped it earlier, but that's gonna... That plus the cape is really gonna make Vitreous a whole lot easier to deal with. Alright, so yeah, so Zelda is making the same play. Yeah, that was quite the progression sequence.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I guess, like, for better for worse, seems relatively linear to see so far, like, routing-wise. Doesn't really seem like you could, you get bottleneck, right, because you don't have the block, and then you get bottleneck again because you don't have bombos. At least for a spoiler log race, the big key is not in its vanilla location where you have to go through the cutscene. You always kind of hope for that even when you're doing a spoiler log race. I mean, I guess you hope for that in general, but in spoiler log race, it's even nicer when you just know. You don't have to do it. Of course, unless there is There is a necessary item in the vanilla big key chest. I'm just going to watch these guys run. I was really hoping we didn't have to see the cutscene, but you know, here we are.
There's something good in cutscene chest, or the vanilla big key chest. Should... Yep. I don't know. Personally, I would have chuckled at least a little bit that entire scenario. But there's always like you're always gonna have that that one thing. It's kind of like, oh man, I gotta really do that. Per spoiler seed, unless you just get one that's just really boring jet, but Whoa, there's our mirror.
Yeah, that entire chain, even more so required because the mirror is here in Mire. Yeah, and certainly this seed was actually pretty nice in that boots for Sphere 1, I guess, or, you know, like, very early access. You know, so at least these guys can, you know, like, dash, you know, everywhere. They got to dash through Deep Town, they got to dash through the desert. Certainly makes the seed, you know, feel at least a little bit more enjoyable. Alright, so unfortunately no spooky action today from either runner. We do not have the fire rod, so no splash damage anywhere.
And we got sword beams, that's good enough.
Yeah, also very, very precise sword beam there to hit the switch. Sometimes it's very easy to get that sword beam caught on the pot, so first try is very nice by Osse. Alright, so 5 hearts, blue mail, cape, and master sword. Looks like Osse's just going to slash his way through. And actually, if you know, as you're spamming the sword slashes here, you actually do see that the cape actually does not drain as much magic when you're in action animation. So even nicely out here.
Actually getting hits against Vitreous as well. There we go.
Yeah, Osse definitely got him in like a really nice like holding pattern, I guess.
With Tempered Sword, Zelda is definitely going to be able to make up some time though.
Yeah, I certainly imagine him just taking the cape and either doing dashes or he'll just do spin strats.
I'm actually gonna like just cape like just right now.
Alright, trip up, number 3 up for Osse here to the mountain.
There we go.
Yeah, Zelda did not have as nice a pattern for phase 2 of Vitreous, but you know, as you said, having Temper Sword, you need a lot fewer slashes to get him down.
Our container, yeah. We have 6 hearts.
It's probably like well within the comfort level of both these runners.
So this is something you usually put off till the end, which means, yeah, there is something important. That's what we needed that mirror for. He's gonna go ahead and continue. May as well. You have to do it anyway. This must be this is the power of Harapot.
Yeah, he got it very, very quickly too. It's always really nice to see. And I think you know, if maybe after like the first or second try, Harapot like does end up costing you time, but I mean like these guys are sure well practiced enough here. Third crystal down for Osse, so fast. Also, yeah. Go ahead, Sina.
Very, very fast setup there. That's a sight to see. But anyway, go ahead.
Alright, it does look like nothing on either tablet, otherwise it would have been a very convenient time for both of them to grab it. Alright, yeah, so it looks like at least 3 required trips up the mountain. First, it was to get the book, so we can get in the desert. And then we needed to go, after getting the myths out of the desert, we need to go back up to get Bombos, so we can get entry to Meyer. And then after getting the mirror from Meyer, we need to go back to get the hammer. Would you chuckle more this time, Sanak? Third trip up?
Oh no, you lost me there. I just heard a bunch of you had to go a bunch of different places. That's pretty much what everybody else heard at least. But yes, now Swamp Palace, my favorite dungeon. It's everybody's favorite dungeon. They just don't know it.
We will see if these runners have to pick up anything in Swamp. I mean, they certainly do have the power to full clear, and with newly discovered, or somewhat newly discovered Diver Down, certainly makes Left by Swamp less tedious to do.
So, Zelda is going to probably be able to do a 0 cycle Argus. With that tempered sword is going to enable that, and I think he knows how to do it. So there is some time save there to be had. I think at least we can forsake left side swamp today.
Yeah, certainly does not look like there's anything of value.
Either that or yeah.
Yeah, at least there's certainly no strong progression, but there could be certainly like a safety out there, but maybe not worthwhile for these runners.
Osse's setting up a diver down, up off the ledge there. That's why we need to go to Swamp Palace.
Yeah, actually, with that fire rod, actually he will be able to do phase 2 of Argus very quickly, just a couple of raw shots in the spin.
Now, none of our runners have grabbed. Yeah, so yeah, Ozzy's gonna be stuck doing fighter spins here. Zelda!
Yeah, it looks like Zelda is trying to get using Hinasamaria strats for Diver Down, but eventually opting to do bomb strats here instead. Speaking of Zelda, we see Zelda in chat. Hi Zelda, good luck for the rest of the run. One kind of a nice feature about the spoiler log races is that not only do runners get to watch their opponent's streams, but they also get to watch their stream and chat with us. So, feel free to say hi to Zelda and wish him luck.
So, Zelda still can set up a faster Argus?
not quite the nice zero cycle, because I think in this case Argus probably did do his animation, but still certainly a very fast fight.
So we're still missing. We're having to come back over here yet again here, which means, yeah, we're going into Turtle Rock. I think our bow's in Turtle Rock.
So they don't have the ice rod so far. I mean, certainly it could be that the ice rod is, kind of like nearby or in Turtle Rock itself, but at least that gives you some hope that you don't have to fight Trinex. And man, those dead rocks.
It's a pendant, so they probably don't even intend on killing Trinex at this point.
Unless Trinex has their progression.
Yeah. It's possible. Like, I haven't looked at the log at all, but something tells me that the ice rod would have shown up elsewhere. I think we're going probably for the stereotypical bow and laser bridge. We needed that fire rod, which we needed the mirror. So to get that fire rod, we needed mirror. To get mirror, we needed gloves. To get gloves, we needed book. Or to get mitts, we needed book. So.
Yeah, this is maybe like sphere 10 or something at this point.
Yeah, this turned out to be a pretty linear seed. Hence why both of our runners pretty much made the same decisions. And if it was in that first chest, they wouldn't have. Well, you'd have to get the fire rod anyway, but.
Yeah, it also might depend on how far they have to go in the dungeon and what the key layout is here.
Like, if it was in Chain Chomp Room, they would have gotten this earlier. Maybe. I actually don't know. Probably not. I'm just kind of speculating. And, grab the big key, which means it's probably deeper in Turtle Rock at this point.
Yeah, it looks like also the sword advantage that Zelda has here most likely will not actually be as strong, just because they do have the fire rod and half magic, so they can just. Speaking of which, all right, Osse has found his third sword in this case, so it'll be butter for Zelda. But they have the fire rod, so basically they can just one shot everything.
Yeah, there's probably going to be at least a little bit of value seen out of the gold sword, especially during Ganon 1 and 2. Well, Ganon Phase 1 and 2. So.
Yeah, and both these runners have to still do Ice Palace. So the gold sword is still going to be faster than having Tempered.
All right, there's our bow, and they're out of there. Okay, not quite laser bridge, but close.
Yeah, given that you didn't have to kind of go through the Samaria I guess block routing path all the way down to laser bridge, this is kind of like a nice place to be.
And I think yep, that's our go, isn't it? Yep.
Yes, it looks like that is all they need, or at least all the strong progression items that they need.
We did need to touch Pod. Desert was a half dip. Same thing with TR. So now just clean up.
Eastern it's probably not the fastest. Go mode versus non-go mode, but it'll still be pretty fast too.
It's not really gonna matter at this point. Like, it doesn't matter if you do like Eastern first or Ice. Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah. I mean, Go mode Eastern is always kind of amusing though.
Yeah, we see Zelda continuing on Turtle Rock.
Yeah, what is here?
He already has the gold sword. He already has half magic. I don't know if he would pick up red mail if it were here. Oh, but silvers are nice. So both our bows were in Turtle Rock. Oh man.
Oh, so I was kind of right.
All right, so this will definitely probably save I don't know, something like 45 seconds or something over Ossie's silverless cannon for sure, and then it'll save them definitely a couple seconds here on Armos.
Yeah, that time could definitely be made up by. It's also just a great weapon to have. Well, we'll have to see how this works out.
Yeah, especially since they still have to do a GT, and depending on where that big key is, they could still have to fight, Ice Armos. They'll for sure have to fight Lambo 2, like where the bow will definitely, or at least where silvers will definitely help.
So we're kind of to the point now. We're gonna probably be able to get a beat on Ossie's lead here in just a moment. Ossie is gonna go ahead and refill.
Certainly a very nice piece of game knowledge that Ossie has to remember that buying a upgrade, either for bombs or arrows, will just automatically refill you to whatever the new capacity is. So if you needed more arrows at the time, that was a great time to do it.
Ossie playing with fire just a little bit. So there's actually a glitch. You can actually, so you know the jingle glitch that can happen in GT? That can happen there as well. If you kill all 3 enemies and you go through that door on the same frame that the shuttered door opens.
I knew that.
Yeah, you can despawn Ice Palace as well. And actually it'd be kind of annoying to deal with. Because like you don't get cold stare to spawn, and without cold stare spawning, you can't do the dungeon. You can't beat the dungeon. So, alright, so Ossie's setting up an icebreaker here. Get the Samari block down. Is going to extend his door state and make his way through that 16 pixel barrier.
He's gonna grab a small key here. Forgoing muscle memory to continue to hammer and pull the tongue, because once you do Icebreaker, you're essentially doing this dungeon backwards, as opposed to like when you do the dungeon forwards, you need to pull that tongue and get the chest later. Nice clipping there by Ossie.
Ossie is... So, the gold sword is going to make a little bit of a difference here for Zelda. It's going to be a lot easier to get the puffs down, especially if you lose containment. It's not that much of a difference, though. It's like... So, yeah.
It looks like Ossie's gonna use that fire rod to help him out here.
But yeah, there we go.
Zelda also getting Icebreaker. I think it might have also been like slightly faster than Aussie.
Yeah, it was a bit
It
faster.
was very, very close though. I mean, but certainly very well done for both these runners. All right, so number 6 down. Looks like Aussie's going to head over to Skull Woods and we go swat a bug.
Yeah, so we just have a Skull Woods and then.
Yeah, just one Skull Woods left, and then our last requisite trip up the mountain. I think that's 5 trips up total that we needed.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy actually. That's a lot of trips, especially for a spoiler race. And those have been 5 trips you probably would have been forced. You would have been forced to make all those trips as well in a blind run.
Yeah, I guess I am curious. Zelda ended up picking up some extra money out of the brewery. I think it was 300 or something like that. He hasn't spent any of it. I guess I'm just wondering if that was for safety earlier, like maybe he wanted to buy a potion?
Potentially.
I mean, certainly money is nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like if kind of like in a scenario like down the road where you kind of need another potion for whatever reason. But alright. And down goes Mothula. It's crystal number 7. It's kind of just deleting Mothula.
Yeah, that was a very fast fight. And so even though Zelda does have a Butter Sword versus Temper Sword, he is not going to have any extra damage in terms of advantage here, because so in the original game, the the Butter Sword is meant to do spike damage, but of course Moth is invincible to spike. So actually in the vanilla game, you couldn't do any damage to Mothula with the Gold Sword if you ever fight him with that. So then, as part of the randomizer, one of the patches was that in this case, if you fight Mothula with the Gold Sword, he will just do Temper Sword damage. I got to find that out the hard way. As Ossie is making his way to GT, typically in a non-spoiler log race, we would ask chat, in this case, to guess where the GT Big Key is, numbers 1 through 22. Because this is a spoiler log race, the number of checks that these runners need will probably be in the very low single digits, so instead, if you feel free to guess where the exact location is of the GT Big Key.
It's going to be on the torch.
Do you hope for torch here, or do you hope for tile room?
Yeah, it's gonna be torch. It's the perfect place for it. Joking aside, though, it's probably gonna be rando room because it's always rando room. Well, definitely not tile room. Yeah, it's not Bob's torch.
So random room is still alive. It is interesting. I guess we'll see what Aussie does with the bow, because he did end up picking up that refill to get him to 35 and refill his arrows. But it looks like there were actually 10 arrows on the torch, so he did get. He would have gotten 10 arrows from there too.
So Zelda is making his way into Ganon's tower, has the silver's advantage and the gold sword advantage, but Aussie has a little bit of time on top. Alright. Not random room.
Yeah, really only in a spoiler log race do you kind of see like this type of warp traversal, because normally, like if you're over here, the only reason you're over here is to check random room and they keep going. Like you would just never skip these 4 chests if you were here.
Oh, Aussie's a pretty skilled NMG runner. Reaching for bombs, which means, yeah, it's gonna be after Armos here.
Alright, so this is where Zelda can pick up a little bit of time on Aussie, because he does have silvers. Yeah, and I think you're right, Sinak. If you want to come here, that's right. Like, left side is still faster than right side to get to this chest, right?
All right, now we do our tower climb.
All right, so it was almost vanilla.
Close enough. So Aussie's now gonna just do some fancy sword slashing to manipulate those mimics, and 2 per mimic. Try not to get yeeted by the Beamos. There we go. We're through.
It certainly looked like he wanted all of those arrows, because I think he probably realized that he was needing to ice Armos. And so just having, I guess, like the extra 35 arrows, like the full set basically was
so
nice.
Zelda getting 1.0'd by Bob multiple times.
Oh, because of the antiquaries. I looked away. I was on Aussie's side.
yeah. Bob was 1.0ing Zelda. All right. And it's gonna mirror. Now, the winner of this race is 1 step closer to solidifying their position as a guaranteed top 8 for the bracket that's going to conclude the season. The runner-up in this race will go 4-2. The remaining 5-2 players at the end of week 7, we will take the top 4 of those based off of the strength of your opponents. So we do a little bit of fancy math to figure out how good your opponents were. By fancy math, I mean we just average them, removing the top and the best and worst opponent. And then we'll grab 4 guaranteed players, and then 4 more from the 5-2s to make our top 8. We'll have to see if there'll be any race-offs. I don't think that there will be, but we'll have to see how the math shakes out at the end of 7 weeks.
Both these runners making their way through the gauntlets. Zelda does have to be a little careful. He doesn't have, I think, any health safety. But I think through the gauntlet here, I think he's actually gained a little bit of time on Aussie. That was a really nice dynamo too with silver arrows, and he has exactly 4 arrows left to fight Ganon. That is efficient resource management.
All one needs. 4 arrows in a dream. There's Boltorm 2.
Osse fully confident that he will not need that validation, the last chest there, because I don't think he plans on dying to Agatu.
Yeah, that would be pretty unfortunate. It's a bit difficult, though, to die to Agatu, though. It could happen, but... So I think we got 3 shots. 4
Yes.
and 5.
Yeah, probably wasn't like the most convenient of patterns, but I mean, you know, I'm sure he wanted, you know, like 1 or 2 fewer cycles here. Yeah, so I think that was 4 cycle Agatu. You know, if Zelda can reduce a cycle, that'll certainly be his time advantage gained back. And you know, Osse does not have silvers, so he is probably still a deficit at, you know, something like 45-ish seconds. I mean, this is the very, very close race here.
Can still do the 1-1. Yeah, it's going for the 1-1 here. It's just a lot easier to do it with Gold Sword.
Yeah, that was also some really nice dodging by Osse. I think he can take 1 hit, right? Because he has Blue Mail from Ganon.
Yeah, Bats would do 4 hearts. But... Okay.
So very nicely timed torch clips there.
Alright, is Zelda going to be able to catch up? Does have silver arrows and butter sword, but is it going to be enough?
I was on the edge of my seat, like, when we were at GT, so I'm even more on the edge here.
There's 6 hits. And on Osse's side, he's still working on spins. I don't have a count. That is the last spin.
That was an incredibly nice silverless fight from Osse here.
Get your GGs in chat for Osse101. Finishing this race with a SRL time of 1:17:44 minus 15 minutes. That will make for a 1:02:44. Spam those spam those emotes in Wilds chat. It's a nice throwback there to back in the day. We should probably be getting both of them in here for an interview in just a minute. And Zelda has now finished with an official SRL time of 1:18:26 minus 15 minutes for a time of 1:03:26.
Yeah, 40-second difference from these guys. I mean, that. Well, I mean, what a race here. Both runners like did very, very well. Executed very beautifully.
It's a crazy race. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and get both of them in here. And we are joined by both Osse, I hope I said that right, and zelgadissan. GG's to both of you.
GG's, guys. Great race.
Oh, GG's. Thank you.
Yep, Osse was right. And GG Zelda.
Yeah, so as soon as I left the castle with the boots, I realized I lost this race because I forgot the key. And honestly, I was playing from behind from that very second on, and it was very stressful. But I mean, that's just how spoilers go, and that's part of why it's so fun.
Yeah,
It happens, right?
So the very first routing thing I did was the map key, get the boots, and not worry about anything else. And then much later, it turned into an Agaseed. I realized I had to actually kill the guards, and so I could have made a similar mistake, but I caught it.
Yeah, that chain of progression for items. I think we counted like 5 climbs up the mountain for stuff in EDM in one way or another.
We just had to go everywhere for one item. Like, it was not just mountain, but Dark World and everywhere.
Yeah, it's like I think we said like it's like you had to go. So you needed to grab book, which got you into desert for your mitts, and then the mitts then got you into East Dark Death Mountain, which then had stuff you needed. Or it had Bombos, which then took you back to the mire area.
Yeah, then Bombos got you mirror, so you could get the hammer from Hera, so you could get the fire rod from Swamp, so you could get the bows from Turtle Rock. What a disaster.
Yep. Just think if you were playing that blind.
This is like a study in why spoilers are the better way to be playing rando, because this is absolute trash to play on your own.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think probably outside of some like very minor divergence, like you're like your routes were pretty much just like, like location for location.
There really wasn't a whole lot of opportunity to really deviate.
Like tempered at Lumberjack was the biggest difference.
Yeah,
and maybe that was worth it. Like, I didn't realize just how late Turtle Rock was going to be when I decided on my swords.
Yeah, Zelda went for it.
Yeah, I got that tempered just because I was thinking about Vitreous and Argus were both going to be a lot faster that way. But I don't think it made up quite enough time, to be honest. And then any time save I would have had, I really made an absolute mess out of Diver Down and Swamp. So, I mean, any potential time gain I had from that sword was immediately gone from that.
Yeah, I think another minor divergence was Zelda, you went to get 300 rupees out of the brewery at some point, but then I think you never ended up spending it. Was it just a safety item for you?
It was a I need money for the dig game item. I did not have enough.
Yeah, I got the 50
Oh, that's right.
Cross. That seemed like enough.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. When Osse was in Dark Cross, or at least on his way to get to the back of the escape, he ended up picking up the Dark Cross item, which was 50 rupees. I totally forgot about that because you did have something like 40 some rupees at the end. After you got into Dark World. That's right. I totally didn't realize that.
And that was just I'm passing by Dark Cross. What's going to be in the chest? Like on the fly routing.
So I noticed when I was trying to find that, it was actually while I was crossing over to West Dark World, I realized I didn't have enough money for both. I saw there was 20 rupees on blind, and I said, this might be the first time that the archery game gets played in a spoiler log race. I was really considering it until I saw that 300.
Yeah, so I know that you were... Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say something really trivial. I was gonna shout out the double heart speed. Best way to play.
Yeah, thanks, Osse.
Yeah, it's great. Love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so like I know Zelda, you were in chat watching. Were you watching the restream or Zelda's chat at all, Osse?
I was watching restream, but I don't keep chat window open. I mean, I can read the chat, but not type. So yeah, I was watching.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know if like watching the chat like would or sorry, watching the restream would, I guess, like influence what you do, like, you know, one way or another, like, you know, cause you to play a little bit more conservatively, you know, if you know you were ahead, something like that.
So I did see I was ahead, and so I went back for a couple safeties, like the Mire Heart and the Half Magic. But what was tricky about it is Zelga kept getting the Temper Sword and the Silver Arrows, so I couldn't tell how far ahead I was. So I couldn't really tell how safe to play.
Yeah, and for me, getting the silvers was an on-the-fly decision from seeing that Aussie skips them, because I knew at that point I wasn't going to win the race by catching Aussie. Like, it wasn't going to happen. I'm not beating Aussie in an execution race anyway, let alone when I'm already behind. So I knew I needed there to be a major mistake on Aussie's side, and the silvers were the best way for me to potentially capitalize on that. So it's more like playing to my win condition at that point.
The silvers were nice for organizing your arrow count, though. I had to.
Yeah, that is true.
I bought the Waterfall Fairy arrows, and then I still only had 2 coming out of Mimics.
That just sounds like, don't even act like you didn't plan it. It sounds perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So, do we have any final thoughts? Aussie, you're gonna be 5-1. You are really close to, you know, getting one of those top 4 guaranteed. I don't have to do anything with the strength of my opponents to get into the top 8. So you're 1 away. And Zelga, you're yeah, if you win, so if you win, I have to go and check the spreadsheet, but if you win the following week, that'll put you 5-2. That'll put you in that group of 10 that will then do the math on to figure out who our top 4 out of that is. And then we'll have to see how everything pans out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if I make it, that's cool. If I don't, it's more than understandable. When my two losses are to Aussie and Error right now, there's no shame in that whatsoever. So I don't mind the record of 4-2, and hopefully we can just pull out a win next week, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're just packed with strong runners in this tournament.
Yeah, there's very top heavy. It's been pretty great.
Yeah, and certainly if, you know, if your 2 losses are to Aussie and Airy, I mean, like, your schedule strength is going to be definitely pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. I just gotta keep it up, and hopefully, I know there will be a monster at 4-2 waiting for me as well. So we'll just have to find a way to win that race, and then see what happens.
You know, Zelda, you are a monster too. Most of the other runners, like, in this community, like, no one really wants to face you either. Like, you're certainly quite a force to be reckoned with. So certainly don't sell yourself too short.
Oh, sure.
You know what is a monster to deal with? And that's gonna be Keong. Keong is playing Pika Pals here in about an hour or so. On the same channel, actually. That'll be one not to miss. Will Keong maintain his basically perfect record through spoiler races, or will he finally be brought down a peg? We'll have to see, I guess.
Yeah, Kyung is just the king of these, men. Like, I love spoiler races, but I can't compete against his routing and his execution both. I need something, and I don't have either on that guy.
Looking at the async practice, I'm liking my chances against Kyung, so hoping to match up with him at some point too.
Yeah, on the chance that if Kyung loses in about an hour-ish, he will then be also 5-1, so you might get the chance to face him next week, Aussie.
That's nice,
I think,
but
Yeah.
maybe have that in the bracket portion of the tournament.
Oh. I think the way it's structured is like Keong will get shuffled into the. I'll have to do the math on that, but I think the way it's going to work is Keong will kind of be on his. Well, the winner. I'm not gonna. I don't make assumptions.
We never
That's terrible. No, don't assume. All right, so the winner of the race here will be 6-0, and that'll be the only 6-0 at that point next week. So they're gonna have to play a 5-1. Whoever wins next week, anyway. I think if I do the math correctly on that, I'll have to make sure. I'll have to check that.
Yeah, I think you're right because there are 5 4-1 matches here, so sounds like so it would be an odd number, and then you take on like the one 5-0 match, so you should have still an even number next week. Still, great race by both you, Osse and Zelda. GG's again. It was actually quite very enjoyable to watch. Both of you have executed very solidly, so thank you so much for putting up a great show for us.
Yeah, I think it was a great seed for showing off our skill sets again. A great one race.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely GG's to Osse. Well-deserved win. And thank you guys for having us doing the commentary, tracking, restream. Really appreciate kind of being showcased like this.
Yeah, thank you so much to our tracker, iBot02, keeping us super honest and marking where all the progression for both these runners are. Thank you so much. Any final thoughts, Asadak?
Stay tuned here. About 45 minutes away from another race here, a 5-0.
Yeah, with that, thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Osse and Zelda. GG's, guys. Sinak, thank you so much for co-commenting with me.
Problem. Have a good night, everybody.